You have to keep going. We all do. Across the world, people are adjusting to this new phenomenon, adapting to the new norm. And as you try to navigate these unprecedented obstacles, with lockdowns and restrictions, the challenges presented may feel insurmountable. Technology is supposed to make things easier. That's why we're making communications more flexible, intelligent, and personal. We connect the dots and help you become more efficient and outperform your competition. It's been an extraordinary year for our clients, but we're not stopping. Instead, we're ready to do more. Eager for what's coming your way? Let's get started. Welcome to the new norm. Welcome to Vonage Convo 2020.
Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Sunny Rao. The year gone by has exposed all the weak spots in our ecosystems, be it in business, our communities, or personal lives. Normally, these would have got swept under the rug, but what we are seeing are businesses beginning to address them, ultimately making the fabric that binds our societies much stronger. Last year, we spoke of the impact of a prolonged market reset and the need for businesses to create, converge, combine, and customize their transformation strategies to meet the new demands. In healthcare, we've seen the accelerated adoption of telehealth. One of our customers in the rooms is helping patients recover from the effects of mental health, alcoholism, and drug addiction. Doxy created a platform for clinics and providers to make critical services available to patients at the click of a button in a secure manner. Both these customers are saving countless lives. In education, with our support, Hakkam in Japan combined their educational services with our technology to create a remote, user-friendly, conversational language learning experience, enriching the lives of their global users. Consumers in retail and e-commerce are changing the way they engage with businesses. So, Zalora converged their customer engagement with popular messaging channels to transform customer communications. Kartsguru is helping re-engagement with consumers, especially the ones that have made a recent shift to e-commerce. Vinted makes it easy to buy second-hand clothing, helping both consumers and the environment. Online event platforms such as Intrado continue to provide strong video-based interactivity. Gaming companies like PUBG combine the ease of commerce and in-game payments while preventing potential game addiction amongst minors. All of Vonage's customers leverage the social well-being created from telehealth, the ease and security from e-commerce and payments, the ability to learn new skills remotely, and to stay entertained in a responsible manner. But the continued acceleration of innovation and the unprecedented scale of disruption is happening across all industries, not just these four. In 2022, we will continue to see the lines between personal and work lives blurred, sometimes for the better. Activities such as shopping and entertainment, preventive healthcare and sports, hobbies and education will evolve into a seamless blend between the physical and the digital, creating shared virtual spaces. This has culminated in a great wave of consistent convergence across multiple industries. One example is e-commerce that has surged during the pandemic, fueling a financial services disruption, the buy now, pay later model. This model has a dual mandate. It provides customers with a seamless shopping experience and empowers merchants with increasing online sales conversions while reducing their acquisition costs. We continue to support multiple buy now, pay later providers and change this landscape with customers such as Credivo and Paydi. And you'll hear about Paydi later on in this segment. Next, live streaming technology becomes essential for retailers and brands as the pandemic accelerates the use of augmented reality. Businesses look to connect with consumers directly and collaborate with technology partners that provide high-quality live streaming capabilities and interactive purchasing experiences. Startups such as My and Instramatic are leveraging artificial intelligence to simplify shopping features and add them to both visual and audio content, respectively. These tools help content creators and businesses provide a complete shopping experience on their own platforms. Lastly, the online and offline convergence continues to shake up the retail sector. Virtual worlds are fulfilling the functions of malls as a social form of entertainment. Rather than go onto a website for a specific retailer, imagine rendezvousing with friends in a Minecraft-like world, hanging out and shopping at digital storefronts. Gaming has long been at the forefront of what a successful virtual world could look like. Massive multiplayer online games like Fortnite have hosted live concerts, launched branded games, and more. Imagination platforms like Roblox have gained significant traction during the pandemic, blurring the lines between the virtual and the physical spaces. This has paved the way for brands, retailers, and even commercial real estate operators to prepare for the rise of the metaverse. With industries converging through the rise of tech and innovation, the implications are massive. The metaverse offers unprecedented access and total immersion for consumers, creating a sort of virtual third space. Last year, we had said that the longer the pandemic continues, the greater the irreversible shift in consumer behavior. As the time spent by consumers online increases exponentially, disruptive brands have realized that being present where the consumers spend their time has significant benefit. In the past, this was about acquisition. Now, it is about acquisition, engagement, and retention all in the same place and in one continuum. This is setting the foundation for the next evolution of immersive experiences that transcend communication channels and blur the boundaries between the physical and virtual worlds with a handoff that is imperceptible, essentially creating borderless communications. In accelerating this disruption, brands are borrowing the best ideas from other industries at a rapid pace and building these customer journeys. The challenge for organizations, both Vonage and for our customers, is ensuring how we can back these brilliant ideas and teams to secure the future. For this year's Convo, you're in for a treat because we've lined up the event with a thought-provoking keynote by a Wall Street Journal best-selling author. His topic will highlight how you should be thinking and preparing yourself for the competition ahead. Joy Corso, Vonage's CMO, will share the key findings from a survey where Forrester interviewed over 1,000 customers and digital experience decision makers. We will then follow this up with John Lee, Vice President of APAC, presenting some amazingly inspiring customer stories. We've definitely kept ourselves busy in 2021, and I can't wait to share the exciting updates we have for you later in the event. Our next speaker, Safi, highlights how an idea to solve one problem has an impact that transcends multiple industries. Just as we at Vonage, with our APIs, look at paving the way for the future of borderless communications. His talk will not just challenge what you think, but how you think, and shed unique perspectives on the ideal organization structure and the leadership dynamics that help transform organizations.
Thanks, Sunny, for inviting me to join you at Vonage Convo today. My name is Safi Bakal, and let me see if I can share my screen with you. Here we go. That's my daughter on the right, who I'm very proud of. And I want to start today by asking you to imagine that you're deep underwater on a nuclear submarine, hundreds of miles from shore. You don't want to start hearing clanking noise from your nuclear engine. At the same time, you don't want to be surprised by a new kind of torpedo. Now, about 2 years ago, I was invited to join an admiral responsible for transforming the Navy on a nuclear submarine. And the questions he asked me when I was sitting maybe 20 feet from a nuclear engine, the questions he asked me were the same as the ones that I get at companies, at so many companies that I've spent time with over the past few years. How do you balance the core and the new? Your core franchise and completely new ways of doing business. So for companies, it's a matter of P&L. For the military, it's a matter of life or death. And another way to say this is, how do you become the initiator and not the victim of innovative surprise? In other words, the guy on the left and not the guy on the right. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. Now, I'm a scientist by training. Before I started and ran a biotech company focused on new drugs for cancer, as I was a scientist in academics, and as a scientist, you want to understand why something happens before you decide what to do about it. Why is it that so many good teams running legendary companies will kill great ideas, the ideas that could save them? For example, we all know these stories. A company lands on the cover of a major magazine with sort of beautiful pictures and smiling faces and a hot new product. And then 1 year later, they're gone, toast. Why does that seem to happen so often? So I'm going to show you later an equation which describes sort of the mathematics and science of group dynamics behind why this happens, behind why good teams will kill great ideas. But the bottom line is that it boils down to a new way to think about the life stage of a company. The first stage is all about market. Do we have a product that meets some kind of need? That's the startup stage. The second stage is, okay, now we found product market fit. We've got some customers. Now, how do we manage our customers? How do we keep them happy? How do we add new ones? How do we get repeat business? How do we reduce churns? How do we improve margins? If you do all that stuff well, your franchise may grow quickly. You might start to dominate your competitors. And congratulations, you've made it to the major leagues. And that's where most companies get stuck, because there's a third stage. When you spend all your time on managing your customers, on growing your franchise, you will miss that third level. And then one day a competitor announces a new product or a new way of doing business, and boom, you're dead. Your Pan Am or Circuit City or Polaroid or Torpedo came out of nowhere and sunk your ship. So what's that third level? The third level are those companies, very few companies, who become as excellent at managing their ideas as they are at managing their customers. By ideas, I don't mean ideas for kind of, what font size they use on their website. I mean ideas for new businesses. You can think of these two things as, managing your customer pipeline and managing your idea pipeline as two different axes. Becoming excellent at managing your customer pipeline means all the things that many of you know well, your sales funnel, your churn, your promoter score, your distribution channels. All of that is about growing your franchise. Being excellent at that second axis, at managing your idea pipeline, boils down to one thing. Now, I've spent a lot of time over the past few years with companies in nearly every industry or sector, and this is kind of the only thing that I've seen, the one thing that I've seen that consistently distinguishes the truly outstanding companies. That's their ability to run experiments at pace and scale. It's not strategy frameworks like the the 5 forces or the 7 S's or whatever stuff comes from consultants and business schools. And I say that as a former McKinsey consultant, by the way, who later became a CEO of a public company and had to get out of that bubble and learn about the real world very quickly. Those kinds of strategy analyses mattered a lot 20 years ago when the world moved a lot more slowly than it does today. Not anymore. Markets and industries are changing too fast. The ability to run experiments at pace and scale is what takes you up the vertical axis and can turn you into a superstar, into that third level of company, a company that's excellent, both at growing its franchises and in developing new businesses, manage your engine and invent new kinds of torpedoes. So how do you do that? Well, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is that there's no magic wand that you can wave and transform instantly. It takes a lot of work. The good news is that it's doable. It's a transformation, and I've been part of those transformations. They look like this. You put in place something you could call an innovation operating system. That system is for curating and managing a pipeline of new ideas, new businesses, new ways of doing business. Just like you have a sales funnel, this is a funnel for ideas, from seed stage, testing stage, to scaling and iterating for running experiments at pace and scale. It includes who makes which decisions at what stage, the questions that get asked at each stage, and how you deal with zombie projects, how you avoid premature scaling. The good news is that this works. The bad news for a 20-minute talk is that doing all this could take anywhere from 6 months to a year and cost $5 to $10 million. And that's generally at large companies. And what I do with smaller or mid-sized companies is pack all that into one day with an interactive workshop where we come up with at least 3 practical ideas that we can go out and test at the end of the day. Now, today we don't have a year or a day, we have 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do instead is give you my top 3 tips that can help you innovate faster and better. And they're the founding principles for this kind of system. I don't have a good verbal memory, so these are my visual cues for those 3 tips: the leaf, the heart, and the ruler. The leaf, the heart, and the ruler. The leaf is how you think about your job. If you are a manager or a leader, how do you think about what your job really means? The heart is what you signal, and the ruler is what you measure. Okay, here we go. The first one is about your job. Be a gardener, not a Moses. Now, if you are a manager or a leader, your job isn't to stand on the top of the mountain and raise your staff and anoint the chosen project or the holy loonshot. Your job is to manage the touch and balance between 2 groups inside your organization. And you can think of them as the artists and the soldiers. Your artists are the ones who are working on creating the new businesses, new markets, new ideas, new ways of doing business. And the soldiers are the ones who are focused on the core, on delivering on time, on budget, on spec. Those groups not only don't understand each other, they don't like each other. The group making the money never likes the group spending money, and vice versa. They don't understand each other because they speak different languages. The English word risk, for example, 1 word, 4 letters. So an artist, risk is a good thing. You want to push the boundaries. You want to try 10 projects, 9 of which might fail, 1 of which changes how people see the world. If you're a soldier, on the other hand, you don't want a lot of risks. In your parachutes, for example, you just want them to work every time, the same way, no surprises. Not understanding each other comes down to something I think of as the beautiful baby problem. That's my wife and our first child. Artists working on the new, whether that's biologists in the lab or designers or engineers, see the wonderful potential of their new creations. They see their idea or invention as a beautiful baby. The soldier, however, sees a shriveled up raisin covered in vomit and poop. Beautiful baby, vomit and poop. And they're both right. You want the artists to be passionate about their ideas, and you want the soldiers identifying their risks and reducing them. You want that tension. You want to lean into it. If you don't have that tension, if your artists aren't excited about their ideas or your soldiers aren't looking for ways to fix the flaws, then you have a much bigger problem. You need both. It was Johnny Ive at Apple that came up with a beautiful design for the iPad. But if it wasn't for Tim Cook getting the cost down from $6,000 to $600, there'd be no Apple today. So the reason this matters is that there are two types of projects at every company. The artists work on the new kind of torpedoes, those crazy business ideas that everyone writes off as nuts. Like, imagine you're at a company that sells DVDs and you say, I know, let's start streaming movies instead of this DVD thing. And you're bored, and investors think, well, that's a really stupid idea. A few years later, your company, called Netflix, is worth $100 billion. Which one dominates, the artist or the soldier mindset, will change as your company grows. Now, many of you may have seen this, the conversation around the water cooler, in the before days when there was a water cooler in an office, changes from, oh, this exciting new project I'm working on, to my career. That's the transition point, the flipping point, what physicists call the phase transition, when people in the hallways stop talking about how exciting their project is and start talking about their career, from projects to politics. So when you are kind of very small, you're still in that project mode. Everyone unites around nurturing those fragile, early stage, crazy ideas, those loonshots. And when those ideas stumble, as they always do, anything early stage never works the first time or the second time. It takes many times. Everyone rolls up their sleeve to rescue them because there's so much at stake. Their equity is so high. Their stake in the outcome is so high at a small company. If something works, you're a hero and a millionaire. If it fails, everyone's unemployed and looking for a new job. Now, as you start to grow, you move into another phase, a phase that favors franchises. What works well in committee meetings, the projects that will get you promoted, projects that are easy to sell. The 25th James Bond movie, for example. Bond needs a bad guy, a fast car, some one-liners, and a woman that double crosses him, and boom, you have a movie. Done. The group will reject moonshots. For example, let's say you're the head of a major movie studio and I come to you with an idea. And here's my idea. Ready? Giant turtles. And they carry swords and they eat a lot of pizza. And you say, well, that's the dumbest idea I've heard in months. Get out of my office. Now, what did that become? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a $6 billion franchise. Now, if you're more mathematically inclined, and I was a physicist before I was a CEO, so I am, you can actually work out when that transition happens as your company grows and the shift from project to politics as a function of kind of 4 parameters of how you design your organization. And that's too in the weeds for today. And you can read about it more in the book or in this HBR article. Actually, for this conference, if you email me, safi@bakal.com, first name at last name.com, I'll send you a PDF of the first chapter of the book or the article. But the bigger picture problem here is that you need both. You need the loon shots if you don't want to be surprised by a new kind of torpedo, and you need your engine working well if you want to keep your core growing and not blowing up. And despite all the, sort of BuzzFeed articles about unleashing creativity at work, a lack of creativity has nothing to do with the #1 barrier to innovation inside every company I've ever seen. The barrier is never in the supply of new ideas. You put 10 people into a room for an hour with a stack of Post-its, and you can get 100 new ideas. The problem is in the transfer to the field. The soldiers will always reject the artists, and the artists will always ignore the soldiers, and that's normal. That's a beautiful baby problem. Different jobs, different languages. And that's why the first rule of the Leaf is about how you think about your job. Be a gardener managing a system, not a Moses picking projects. That means manage the transfer, not the technology. Your job is to help bring early stage ideas out of the lab and into the field for feedback from real customers, not too early, where they will get crushed, but also not too late, when some competitor has already taken the market. And then help get the feedback from the field back into the lab or the engineering team, because the soldiers are busy. They're on commission. They're trying to get sales done, they don't have time and they're not interested in spending all their time when they could be making phone calls, could be making sales, could be earning commission to go back into the lab and take time out of the day to work with these crazy artists. Your job is to manage that dynamic, be a gardener, not a Moses. Now, there's a lot more on how you kind of operationalize this in practice, but it's good enough for now because I want to get to number 2, the heart, what you signal. The first one was a leaf, how you think about your job, be a gardener, not a Moses. The second one, number 2, is the heart, what you signal. And by that, I mean love your artists and soldiers equally. And I should pause here and say that after I wrote the book, the Loonshots book, I would often get a question, especially from folks at smaller companies, when I talk about artists and soldiers. Does that mean you need separate people for each job? You know, this person is 100% on Loonshots and this person is 100% on franchises. No, you can separate the role in time because it's a job, what you're working on at the moment. Are you trying to take risk or reduce risk? Those are opposite things. Right? Loonshots, you want to take risks, you want to try a lot of things and most of them will fail. Franchises, you want to reduce risk. You don't want your sales guy knocking on a customer's door and saying, here's your toaster, sir. Toaster, I ordered a television. You don't want a lot of risks. Otherwise, you'll be out of business, okay? You need different roles for different times. So the way you do that is if you're if you're leading, let's say, a small team, is separate the roles in time. For example, 1 week each quarter, have the team take off their soldier hat, flip, 180 their usual role, their usual mindset. Don't worry about what's practical or possible or feasible or cost efficient. Just imagine the impossible, the crazy, and ask, how might we? At the end of the week, you pick your top 3 ideas, you put your soldier hat right back on, and you lock down on getting those ideas, those projects over the finish line on time, on budget, on spec. Separate your artist time and soldier time. And that applies at every level, whether it's a top executive team all the way down to the smallest team, even if you're a solo entrepreneur. Balance your loonshot time, the time you spend on imagining crazy new ideas, and the time your franchise time, the time you spend on delivering on time, on budget, on spec. So now I'll explain what I mean by that a little more with a story about a less famous story about an ultra famous icon. When Steve Jobs started Apple with Steve Wozniak, the product, the Apple II, was a big hit. But within a couple of years, they were rapidly overtaken by Commodore, Atari, and IBM. And Apple's share fell to less than 10% of the market. They desperately needed something else. There was a young guy at Apple who had come up with an idea called the Macintosh. Jobs kicked him out, took it over, and announced, all of you working on this sexy new thing are the true artists. All of you working on the franchise are bozos. The problem is that those bozos were bringing in 95% of the revenue of the company. And the hostility that Jobs created was so great that the people on the franchise side started wearing plastic buttons that said, we're not bozos. The hostility grew so bad that the street between their 2 buildings was known as the DMZ, the Demilitarized Zone. And then when the Macintosh launched, it had a great publicity campaign, but it was a flop as a product. It was too slow, it was too expensive, it overheated, and the company was headed for bankruptcy. And Jobs was justifiably asked to leave. Now, what happened? 12 years later, Jobs came back to Apple. The first thing he did was promote Johnny Ive, great designer, great artist. And the second thing he did was recruit a guy from Compaq Computer named Tim Cook. Cook's nickname at his previous company was the Attila the Hun of inventory. Now, if there's a better name for a soldier inside a company, I don't know. And Jobs led not like a Moses, but by managing the touch and the balance between the 2, like a gardener. And when he died, it wasn't the ultimate artist, Johnny Ive, who took over. It was the ultimate soldier, Tim Cook. In other words, Jobs had learned to love his artists and his soldiers equally. And this is really difficult for a lot of leaders because you typically grow up one way or the other, but to achieve balance, the dynamic equilibrium with water and ice, you have to be careful about what you signal, what you praise, what you celebrate in town halls or team meetings or anywhere, so that it's balanced between the 2. So that's the second principle, the heart, love your artists and soldiers equally. And the third principle is the ruler, measure your speedboats and helicopters. Now, what do I mean by this? Sometimes when I get called by CEOs or leadership teams who say, come work with us on innovation, we're not innovating well enough here or there, I'll ask, well, how do you know? The answer is usually, and I said, would you accept that answer from your CFO? How was the last quarter's revenue? I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. I mean, it could be better. All of which comes down to something that every manager learns on day one. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So what do I mean by measure your speedboats and helicopters? I'll use an example. Now I want you to imagine you're Google 15 years ago. You dominate text searching. You have an 88% market share. You're like a cruise ship sailing down the ocean. You own that lane. And then some kid comes up to you and says, searching text is pretty good, but I'd like to search images too. Well, that's a speedboat. It's a little out there, but it's not too much risk. If it works, great. And if not, you go safely back to the mothership. Then another kid comes up to you and says, you know what I would really like to do is build an email application. Email? Well, people, want to search their emails. Still, that's pretty out there. That's a helicopter exploring very distant lanes. And now another kid says, those smartphones that people are starting to use might be important. I'd like to build a mobile phone operating system. Smartphones? Well, people may want to search on their phones. That's a helicopter. And that becomes Android, the most widely used mobile operating system on the planet, just like Gmail is the most widely used email on the planet. Measure your speedboats and helicopters means track not only at the top level, but at the department level and at every level, what percent of your budget, that's FTEs and expenses and your time, is on your core cruise ship. That's where you want a very low failure rate. Your speedboats, your medium risk projects, say 50% likely to succeed, and your helicopters, high risk project, most of which won't work. 1 out of 10 might work. And the key is to get an independent assessment, sanity check. Because if you ask like a department head, what's their percent of, spend on wild, new, exciting ideas? Well, we're thinking of using horizontal lines rather than vertical lines on our website. Well, that's not really a loon shot. So why does this work? First, it clarifies to everybody the failure tolerances, the different failure tolerances. You want a lot of risk taking in your loonshot bucket. You want projects that push the envelope, that fail a few times. And if you're not failing there, you're not taking enough risk. But you don't want a lot of failure in your customer service. Creating and tracking that matrix makes those expectations clear to everyone. Number 2, it quarantines the risk. So many companies don't take enough risk because they get scared of the loss, financial loss. By saying prospectively, our budget in this high risk bucket will be, say, 10%, it won't be 8%, it won't be 12%. You get everyone more comfortable with risk, with taking risks. That means the troops, the executive team, the board, or parent holding company if you're a sub. And finally, it separates governance and management. Everyone here knows what management is, who's going to do what by when. Governance covers the bigger picture questions. Should our loonshot bucket be 10x bigger? Are we taking too much or not enough risk? And that's exactly the discussion you want to have at higher levels. Not do we have, what kind of website do we have? So there's no right answer. You want to consider your market, the landscape. For example, I worked with a major newspaper for a while, and if you're in the print newspaper business, you probably don't want 80% of your bucket in your core cruise ship. That business is going away. But if you're in the cyber AI business, that may be a really good time to double down on your core. And this applies at every level, the company level, the department level. How many experiments are we running? Even down to just one person, to you. Have you done an experiment today? Have you tried a new habit, a new way of interacting with your friends or your spouse or your kids? One good friend, a famous scientist, has a rule: every day, one experiment. And that's what I try to do now. So that's the leaf, how you think about your job, be a gardener, not a Moses. The heart, love your artists and soldiers equally. And the ruler, measure your speedboats and helicopters. So we're getting low on time, but I want to close with one short story of how these ideas all came together. And it's a surprising story that I only got to know from spending some time with companies in the music industry. So the music industry for close to 100 years meant the major record labels. In 1999, the music industry had its best year ever. CD sales were terrific. And then what happened? This guy, Sean Fanning and Napster, pirating online. CD sales fell off a cliff. The labels were headed for bankruptcy. Now, over the past 6 years, it bounced back. The industry bounced back. And today, revenues and earnings are actually far, far greater. Profits are the highest they've ever been in the 100 years of the industry. Why? Here's what happened. Spotify and the other services started up. They started knocking on the door of these major labels. They'll say, hey, we'd like permission to stream your songs. We'll pay you a penny per song. And the label said, no way. Are you crazy? We get $13.99 for every CD we sell. So forget it. What are you talking about, a penny? Get out of here. Spotify said, I don't think you heard us. We pay you a penny every time the song plays. And the label said, go away, you're crazy, forget it. And the labels kept losing money and losing money and losing money and headed closer and closer to bankruptcy. And the streaming services kept knocking on the door until finally one of the labels said, wait a minute, did you say we get paid every time the consumer plays a song? Yep. And we don't have broken plastic cases we have to replace or refunds or inventory? Yep. Boom. What happened? Three things. Margins went way up. Total revenue in the industry doubled. The average amount of consumer spends on music today has doubled because once you have that monthly thing, you don't notice it as much as going to the mall and buying a CD. And where did all that profit pool go? To the artist? No. Why? Because of number three. Accounting got much, much more complicated. Before, when a customer bought a CD, that was easy to see, and every artist knew exactly how many units they sold, and so they got their royalty. With Spotify, it's incredibly difficult to figure out. And to win on Spotify, it's all about gaming algorithms and working with influencers to get your song up there. And the labels became experts in packaging artists and algorithms and AI tools and in, basically bribing. There's some technical term for it, but it's more or less bribing the influencers to bump their artists up on their list. So what did they do? The Leaf. The ones who succeeded saw themselves not as a Moses knowing where the industry was going, because nobody had any clue. This is crazy stuff. They just had to run a lot of experiments. The Heart. There are people committed to records and CDs in the old way of doing business. And while one part of the business was changing, another part, developing and managing talent, was staying the same. So they had to balance the both, becoming technology companies, talent management, and they loved both equally. And finally, the Ruler. The field is so crazy, the industry is changing so fast that the only way to stay ahead is to have lots of experiments going all the time. And by the way, that's not the end. There are new companies coming up, and I'm working closely with one of them, that are giving artists the AI tools they need to fuel the creator economy and bypass the label. So will those labels survive or be disrupted? We'll see. Which brings us back to the single most important thing that separates the dominators from the dominated, the Netflixes from the blockbusters. Like I said at the beginning, it's the ability to run experiments at pace and scale, which is the key to reaching that third level of company, where you're as excellent at managing your idea pipeline as you are at managing your customer pipeline. And so these three rules that I talked to you about today, the Leaf, the Heart, and the Ruler, they're not everything that goes into building an innovation operating system, but it should be enough to get you started, to help you become the initiator and not the victim of innovative surprise, whether your weapon is a slingshot or a loon shot. So thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy the stories and the ideas. And as I mentioned earlier, as a special treat for this gathering, if you email me at firstname@lastname.com, safi@bakal.com, I'll send you a PDF of the first chapter of Loon Shots. So thanks again. And back to you, Sunny.
Thank you, Safi, for sharing those insights. Next, we have Chief Marketing Officer for Vonage, Joy Corso. She'll share with us the key findings from a recent Forrester report.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joy Corso, and welcome to Vonage Convo 2021. I'm so glad to hear from our APAC team the high level of interest and support we've received leading up to this year's Convo event. Communications Platform as a Service, or CPaaS, has been around for quite some time. And from what we've gathered, most companies do know the benefits and impact that CPaaS can bring to your business. But there's also some of you in the audience who may have heard of CPaaS but are still unsure about the difference between an advanced CPaaS, which is what a vendor like Vonage brings, versus a standalone third-party solution. So I want to talk a little bit about that today. So a less advanced CPaaS platform offers sort of basic level, less complex APIs that require you to hire more skilled developers to program these APIs to function the way you want them to. Now, it does involve more time to be invested in supervising the development, the testing of the functionalities, which of course present your business with significant challenges and of course cost both time and money. But as an advanced platform, Vonage is focused on accelerating the way the world connects on a global scale. And with our APIs, we help customers build solutions that help you get to market faster, reduce the downtime required for integration, and ensure that it's a solution that can scale with your business, which is so critical in today's digital environment. We know that savvy business decision makers tend to rely heavily on industry trends and standards and hard facts and market sentiments. So in June of this year, Vonage commissioned Forrester Consulting to evaluate the use and effectiveness of CPaaS. Now, for this report, they conducted an online survey with over 1,000 customer and digital experience decision makers and influencers to explore how leveraging advanced CPaaS solutions can drastically improve communications capabilities, drive engagement, and ultimately increase revenue. Now, the survey results were global, and I'm pleased to say that 43% of the representation of these folks were from APAC, who are business decision makers and directors and above, also including developers. So the respondents were asked to list their top communications priorities for the next 12 months across 3 business areas of focus: customer, organizational, and technical. So let me share some of the survey findings with you because they are pretty interesting. The research revealed that the top priority for customer focus is to improve the experience for their customers wherever they are on the journey. Now, from an organizational standpoint, the top priority is to grow revenue naturally. And for technical focus, it's to improve on communications capabilities across the business. So for us, this clearly signals the readiness of the market to accelerate their growth, and it shows these decision makers know that improving customer engagement is essential for success. So when we talk about customer experience and engagement, it's really all about how effective you are at getting your customers the content that they need or want, when and how they want it, on their terms. So it's not surprising that only 37%, a very clear minority of non-CPaaS users, folks that do not use APIs, felt that they were very or extremely effective at doing that, compared to 98% of CPaaS users that felt they had a good handle on it. So look, with the stakes so high for customer acquisition and retention, and you combine that with the increasing customer demands, companies need to ask themselves if they can really afford to implement a customer engagement plan that doesn't include CPaaS. It's never about a one-size-fits-all solution. Vonage believes that the purpose of APIs is to enable communication and engagement with customers when, where, and how they want. And we've built a complete application platform, multi-tenant cloud environments that includes dev tools, administration, and management tools for voice, video, messaging, and so much more. This broad platform allows Vonage customers across their industries to build the right engagement model for their employees and customers that encompassing, it's personal, it's intelligent, and flexible across the experiences. Take someone like Fisher & Paykel. They understood the importance of closing their communication gaps in order to offer a high-end customer service to stand out in the very competitive market of electronic appliances. So in this case, by using a Vonage Messages API, they were able to offer seamless experience for their global customer base throughout the journey, from booking a technician, confirming the appointment, all the way to evaluating their service. Now let's look at Zeiss Vision Care. Now they leveraged a Vonage Video API, and they integrated that into their existing platform to power face-to-face interactions and state-of-the-art eye care for their patients, anytime, anywhere. And we also have award-winning game developer, PUBG Corp, and they used 2FA, two-factor authentication, via the Vonage Verify API to strengthen the security of their gaming platform. Absolutely critical for their business. There are just so many use cases that show how top companies around the world believe in the power of CPaaS and how Vonage could accelerate their communication strategy. Now, when we look on the flip side, non-CPaaS users are more likely to face technical and business challenges that prohibit their agility to thrive in this environment. So let's look at the percentages. And it's worth noting that the top technical challenge that respondents face is the ability to secure messages when strengthening cybersecurity. And I know that's top of mind for everyone. And combating fraud is crucial. And this links directly to the trust and confidence of customers and ultimately your brand equity. So extending from the technical challenges, it was pretty eye-opening when we see these drastically high percentages of business challenges non-CPaaS users face when they communicate with their customers. Now, non-CPaaS users are most likely using a standalone third-party tool that don't necessarily sort of speak to one another or provide a seamless experience. So if the goal is to really know their customer base by obtaining, connecting, and understanding customer analytics, they're likely going to fall short and won't be able to offer a high level of that customer experience and engagement. The results are clear that engaging with a CPaaS vendor has profound benefits for companies. Even further, an advanced CPaaS vendor has more extensive communications capabilities, robust conversation services, use case specific APIs, low-code dev tools, and a global carrier network to support your business growth. So whether it's CPaaS users or non-CPaaS users, I can tell you 60% of the respondents feel that the top technical benefit of using an advanced CPaaS vendor like Vonage is the ability to connect client touch points across the journey. And 59% felt that the top business benefit is indeed that improved customer experience. And we all know when CX is taken care of, customers will come to you and they will stay and they will ultimately become brand advocates. In fact, 56% of decision makers expect revenue to increase by an average of 8% because of that engagement. And that is a fantastic growth rate. Again, these Forrester report findings simply highlight what we at Vonage already know, that business decision makers and developers like you believe in the power of CPaaS. And Vonage's view has always been about making technology work for you, taking the heavy lift of development work out of your hands, and to truly be a partner to help implement your communication strategy. I truly can't stress enough the importance of customer experience and engagement. We believe better customer engagement means that customers will choose you over your competitors. Thank you all for joining us today, and I urge you to stay on for the following segments of our Combo 2021 and see for yourself how Vonage can accelerate your ability to connect with your existing and future customers. Back to you, Sunny.
Thank you, Joy. Some of you have been waiting for this since the start of the event. So I shall invite Kate to start our very first lucky draw. Kate, over to you.
Thank you, Sunny. Hello, I'm Kate. Now we have something fun and exciting in store just for you, as it's time to kickstart our first lucky draw of the day. You can stand to win a $150 Amazon gift voucher with these easy steps, so listen very closely. On the right-hand side of the screen, where the chat and Q&A are located, we will be putting up a poll shortly. Click on the poll tab to get ready to see the poll when it shows up. Only if you take part in the poll, then you will be included in the lucky draw to win the $150 Amazon gift voucher. The lucky winner will receive an email from us after the event, and you will have 24 hours to claim the prize before we select the new winner. All you have to do now is click on the poll on your right-hand side and respond before the time is up and the poll disappears. Are you ready? Let's unveil the question. While we wait for the rest of the audience to submit their responses for the poll, let me introduce you to our startup program. The Vonage Startup Program is dedicated to enable and support global startups to grow their business and build faster. Through the connections to Vonage best resources, our people, our communication APIs, we hope to provide a platform for startups to learn and receive tailored support to their needs, solve their challenges, and build their MVP. Besides, being a part of our community opens your doors to our community of founders, developers, and advocates. It will be amazing for everyone to share with one another and grow together. Talk about a great opportunity to leverage what we have. Eligible startups will be able to receive tailored support and up to 500 euros of Vonage API credits. To check out more, simply visit the link, and we hope to see you join our community soon. Even if the startup program is not suitable for you, fret not. We are always looking out for those who share the same vision of empowering startups. If you are an incubator, accelerator, venture capital firm, or one that's interested in supporting startups, head down to the link to find out more. Alright, back to the lucky draw. Here's how to win once again. Click on the poll on your right where the chat and Q&A are located. Choose the response that you agree with to stand a chance to win the $150 Amazon gift voucher in our lucky draw. After the event, the lucky winner will receive an email from us, and you will have 24 hours to claim the prize before we select a new winner. Remember to key in your responses if you haven't, because time is definitely running out. If you have any questions for us during the event, feel free to leave it in the chat where our staff will reply to you soon. While you're waiting for the stars to align, perhaps you could check out our website or the startup program which I mentioned previously. Okay, there's not much time left for the poll. Have we all logged in our responses? Don't forget to hit the submit button. Okay, the poll has now concluded. Thank you everyone for your participation. The winner will be notified after the event, either by email or through message. There is another lucky draw held later, so stay on for Convo 2021 if you don't want to miss it. See you later!
It's getting tougher. You keep doing what you've been doing. But it just doesn't seem enough. They've changed. They've all changed. He wants it done faster, and she just wants it done her way. There is a direction that you should be heading towards. Nope. Definitely not. This way. Customer experience is the one true direction for any business, and we believe it. So do they. We've been working hand in hand with our customers to make their customers happy. Seeing the doctor, buying makeup, browsing for clothes, keeping them safe. You should be focusing on your business and leave the tech to us. We've helped over 100,000 businesses worldwide to plan and execute their business communication strategy. Oh, and we're not doing it from here. We're doing it right there by you. Know how to get there yet?
Welcome back to Convo 2021. Thank you, Joy, Sunny, Safi, for that insightful sharing. I believe all of you now having some ideas about how you can leverage CPaaS to accelerate your business CX strategy. The term new norm is something that we are familiar with. I would like to take you further to show you our view of the new norm. the borderless new norm. Over the last 1.5 years, we haven't been able to meet up physically with our customers, our co-workers, but the world doesn't stop turning. For example, we see physical borders going up with lockdowns, quarantine, social borders going up with social distancing and remote working. However, on the other hand, we also see the escalating demands of food delivery, online shopping, video conference, online education, telehealth, and even virtual office. Technology has brought the physical and the social borders down. In fact, if you realize, in this borderless new norm, we are seeing a massive shift towards virtual experiences. We are now getting used to committing to overseas or higher value purchases online. We now trust that we can receive the same quality of healthcare when the doctor is on the other side of the screen. And more often than not, we are going through the entire customer journey on your smartphone or computer. This is revolutionary for business decision makers like yourself. Instead of feeling lost or worry about running your business, in this borderless new norm, think about the opportunity that arises now. Why now? In 2020 and 2021, we have seen many companies making plans, making guesses about how the market is going to shift post-pandemic. Because change is the only constant now. Instead of guessing what the future holds, we should take charge and adapt to win. Just in APAC alone, we have seen over 500 new customers choose Vonage in 2020 and 2021. They come from various industries: e-commerce, social platform, gaming, banking, education, healthcare, and many more. They have made their decision to work with us because Vonage is different. Rick Johnson, who is the head of Intelligent Contact Solutions from Australian voice-based conversational AI company Curious Thing, will share how they developed their smart talent acquisition solution with the Vonage communication platform.
My name is Rick Johnson. I'm Head of Intelligent Contact Solutions for Curious Thing. Curious Thing is an artificial intelligence company specializing at the moment in talent acquisition and voice interviews, so interviewing candidates at the screening stage of the process in their own words in real time, so we can really understand behavioural attributes of people from the way that they speak to us. One of the really important aspects of the different solutions we're pulling together is how we can connect with people from the communication standpoint. And so working with Vonage using the API solutions, that was the right solution for us, because we need to be able to engage with people in all different regions of the world. You know, we're not just operating out of Australia. And so making sure we've got a solution that's scalable and can be rolled out anywhere to engage with people wherever they happen to be was really important. Working with the Vonage team, having the right kind of partnership when we're working together on these exploratory and developing products is super important. And I think one of the things that's really strong about the partnership is how collaborative it is. You know, we'll come to the Vonage team with a particular problem and say, we think this is possible, but you know, how can we go about doing it? And it's not a case of, you know, just buying something off the shelf. It's working together to try and actually solve these problems and say, here's how we could, here's how we can work together to solve this, because it's it really is a consultative and collaborative partnership on solving these new challenges. The partnership with Vonage is absolutely critical. You know, on the one hand, with the Curious Thing engine, what we're able to do is understand people in their own language. Without Vonage, we wouldn't be able to connect with them at scale. And the solutions and the problems that we're looking to solve and have already been working on are, you know, high scale. You know, the concurrency is absolutely critical. That mass outreach to people, that's an essential component of it. So it's how do we reach huge volumes of people and have a really personalised interaction. So the combination of the Curious Thing engine and the Vonage capability through API really comes together to help us solve different problems.
Our next customer is from Korea. They have developed a new AI CUC solution that can transmit and record the test taker's screen and face to ensure that important information is not leaked during important online tests. Let's hear it from Mr. Park.
안녕하세요. LG CNS AI CUC 솔루션 PM을 맡고 있는 박병곤입니다. 먼저 우리 AI CUC 솔루션과 보니지의 협업 관계를 말씀드릴 수 있는 기회가 되어서 영광입니다. 저희 LG CNS는 국내 대형 IT 프로젝트의 경험을 바탕으로 컨설팅, 시스템 구축 및 운영, 포털 아웃소싱 등의 서비스를 제공합니다. 이번에 LG CNS 개발한 AI COC 솔루션은 온라인 시험 감독 솔루션으로서 응시자의 화면을 송출하고 녹화하는 부분 및 자체적으로 제공하는 페이스 API를 연동하는 부분이 핵심이었습니다. 특히 다양한 운영체제 및 디바이스 환경에서 응시자의 화면을 개별적으로 녹화하고 저장하는 부분의 편리한 연동, 그리고 본의지 영업 및 솔루션 아키텍처 팀의 사례 공유 및 개발 가이드를 통해서 신속하게 개발할 수 있게 되었습니다. 따라서 본의지의 비디오 API 및 관련 SDK를 활용해서 빠르게 구현할 수 있었고, 이를 통해 서비스 구축의 비용 절감과 사업 계획 확보가 가능했습니다. 이러한 다양한 인터랙티브한 환경에서 추가 서비스 및 구축에 있어서도 본의지에서 제공하는 웹 RTC 및 브로드캐스팅 솔루션을 통해 확장해 나갈 수 있을 거로 생각됩니다. 하지만 아무리 새롭고 좋은 기술이라도 그 가치는 고객 경험으로부터 평가될 것입니다. 우리가 경험한 본의지의 사업 방식에서 가장 이상적이었던 부분은 본의지는 서비스 기술 제공뿐만 아니라 최상의 고객 경험을 통해서 전 여정에 관련되어서 강력한 비즈니스 파트너십을 제공해 준다는 점을 확인했기 때문입니다. 앞으로도 본의지와 LG CNS가 더 좋은 관계로 계속 이어나가기를 기대합니다. 감사합니다. Thank you.
The world has moved into the IoT era, so data is a major concern for smart devices manufacturers and also end consumers. We make compliance simple. Our proprietary global compliance engine automatically adheres to constantly shifting country-specific regulations and individual carrier policies. Vonage APIs help Tuya Smart stay GDPR compliant and also achieve the highest standard of customer privacy and security. Let's have Ross, General Manager of Tuya APAC, to tell us more.
Nice to to have this opportunity to have the conversation with Vonage. So first, I will introduce something about Tuya and myself. So Tuya is a global leading AIoT platform which brings the smart products to the consumers by connecting the manufacturers, brands, OEMs, and trade partners. So basically, we provide the end-to-end solution in terms of the IoT or make things smart. So we're helping the brand to upgrade their products to smart ones and also help them to upgrade their business models. I mean, very typical user case is like, when the things become smart, when the people want to control the things remotely, then obviously the user need to register in the app, right? So when the user registers the app, that is our responsibility to make sure the user is authentic. So we will push the verification code to the user, the mobile phone, so that that can be verified. So during this process, I think Vonage is providing the excellent service to us. So by providing these short message services, and another typical user case is like when the products are connected, some very critical products like the cameras or the sensors, when they detect something critical, so the users need to be informed immediately on the timely basis. Like if the camera detects someone breaking in the house, or maybe the smoke sensor detect the fire in the house. So under these circumstances, it's our responsibility to post the message to the users. So from this point, we feel the service from Vonage is quite stable, quite fast, and the more important is it's very cost effective. So from this point, I think Vonage is having a very long-term view, very long-term vision with Tuya. So together we are working on the win-win situation in this field.
In 2020, Paidy started providing TreePlay, a first in Japan service enabling users to spread the cost of their purchases over 3 months. For the fintech industry, reliability is essential, and Vonage understands that. Let's hear it from Paidy Product Manager, Jishad.
My name is Jishad Mohammed. I'm a product manager at Paidy. Paidy is Japan's pioneer and leading buy now, pay later platform accepted by over 700,000 e-commerce sites and serving more than 6 million consumer accounts. At Paydy, we have integrated the SMS API solution by Vonage that we use for SMS-based communication with Paydy consumers. This involves both real-time OTP sending as well as scheduled SMS sending. We are very happy and satisfied with the performance, the reliability, and the quality of the service that is provided by the SMS service platform by Vonage. We also have subscribed for the enterprise plan from Vonage, where we are facilitated with a dedicated business manager, a designated support engineer, etc. This makes the way of working and the communication easy. The reliability and the quality assurance of Vonage is very satisfactory. Vonage provides a very strict and quality service SLA, and also Vonage is very committed towards the response time for any kind of inquiries. Vonage is being always very keen to understand Paydy's business requirement and always helped us to scale up Paydy's service performance. I also want to emphasize that Paydy and Vonage has same business approach. We believe that simple is the best and always think of the customer first. I enjoy work with the people at Vonage, and I would be looking forward to work with them very closely going forward. Thank you.
With remote work, traveling restrictions, and hospitals struggling with their resources, telehealth is becoming increasingly popular. However, many patients, including doctors, doubt the quality of healthcare via a screen, as compared to being there physically. Our customer, VisionFlex, have made telehealth consultation do more than just video conferencing. Let's have Alex and Prasanth to tell us more.
I'm Alex Hollings, Business Development Manager for VisionFlex, and VisionFlex is a telemedicine company that specialized in offering telemedicine that goes beyond traditional face-to-face video conferencing and actually adds clinical examinations and data to a video conference, allowing for telehealth consults to be far more comprehensive than your traditional video conferencing.
So there again, Vonage was very special in the sense that, how do I put it? In the sense that, it allowed us to actually go and tweak every single filter. It is not something that is available in other APIs from other solutions. So that was one big benefit that we saw here, is that we could actually go and customize those filters to our need, and the quality of the stethoscope was purely possible only for that reason. That was a really unique position of Vonage from that side. So I'm very impressed with the documentation available on Vonage. To be honest, I had very little need to go back to your technical support team for anything. So the documentation provided almost everything that I needed. There were sample codes and sample, integration also being shown. So it was fairly straightforward for us. We did face a trouble with, the bandwidth availability, for instance, where we had contacted the local support here in Sydney. They're actually pretty close to our office, and they did provide all the support that was really required. So we were able to use their expertise from that perspective.
Definitely the COVID pandemic has highlighted the need for telehealth, and it's certainly come to the forefront of medicine when it's very difficult for doctors to come in direct contact with patients. So being able to expand on what was a fairly basic and almost, agricultural way of having a meeting with your doctor via face-to-face, and now being able to perform various clinical examinations and even have the doctor participate in the call, is really adding value to telehealth consultations, and no doubt this will be a big part of the future.
E-commerce has revolutionized retail by breaking down the barriers of having a physical sofa or personally visiting a shop for a shopping transaction to take place. However, with the barrier down, it raises the risk of exposure to fraud on e-commerce platforms. Let's see how Singapore's tech unicorn Carousell compared fraud with Vonage API. Carousell's Director of Engineering, Keaton to tell us more.
Hi, I'm Ketan, and I'm Director of Engineering for Carousel. Carousel is a classified C2C marketplace. Carousel's motto is to inspire everybody to be a buyer and seller and make more things possible. As we know, it's very much open, and we are bound to get fraud. And that's to reduce that. We are always focusing on our people, infrastructure, and we always talk to our authorities and connect with local authorities to make sure that our platform is safe and secure. However, since these have been increasing and the activities were increasing, Vonage helped us a lot, and that helped in reducing the fraudulent activities by 67% by Q4 2020. Since 2015, we have integrated two of Vonage's major APIs. I think that helped us in reducing significant number of fraudulent activities. I think that's the most important part for us. So specifically for Verify API, that is one thing which we use for verifying phone verification as well as two-factor authentication. So whenever somebody comes in to Carousel for login for the first time, or uses a new device or changes the country, we specifically detect that from our algorithms behind the scene and try to send SMS to verify whether this device is his own or is somebody else's. Specifically for SMS verification, that is used for used to make sure that our identity is correct and identity is safe, and we are a reliable buyer or seller, to make sure that whenever there is a transaction happening, we can rely on those sellers, so that we know that these sellers are verified by Carousel. And that is very much into hands on hand with what Vonage supports and what we want, and that is what we wanted. Thank you so much, and I'm very excited to work with Vonage and to look forward for the future and their new APIs, which are coming up front, and specifically verification APIs, the new verification APIs. I think we are excited to integrate them and try out new things and new possibilities as we want to grow with Vonage. Thank you.
Apart from our APIs and our solution experts, our customer success also comes from leveraging our deep and broad partner ecosystem. Business communication challenges take more than one solution to solve. Communications APIs partners combine the strength of our APIs with their own products and technologies to build even more innovative and unique communications experiences, and to further accelerate your time to market. It's time for another lucky draw. Your second chance to win the $150 Amazon gift voucher. And if you stay till the end of the event to join our Kahoot game, you have the chance to win the $300 Amazon gift voucher. Over to you, Kate.
Thank you, John. It's me again, Kate. I hope you are excited to see me, because that means it's time for the second round of our lucky draw today. For the benefit of those who missed the first lucky draw earlier, let me walk you through on how to get your hands on a $150 Amazon gift voucher. So on the right-hand side of the screen, where the chat and Q&A are located, we will be putting up a poll where you can take part to let us know what you think. All you have to do is click on poll on the right-hand side, and you will have up to 3 minutes to respond to the question we'll be putting up shortly. Just a reminder, only if you take part in the poll, then you will be included in the lucky draw to win the $150 Amazon gift voucher. The lucky winner will receive an email from us after the event, and you will have 24 hours to claim the prize before we select the new winner. Alright, are you up for the lucky draw round 2? Get ready for the Amazon voucher as we review the question. for those who have submitted your responses and are waiting. In the meanwhile, let me expand a little on what John had mentioned earlier about our partner ecosystem. So at Vonage, we care about our customers, but also on the bigger picture, how you can benefit from our partner ecosystem that can help you build, integrate, and implement unique communication experiences with our APIs. Over here, we have a handy visual map of the variety of Vonage partners who are active in Asia Pacific. They have worked with us in those different areas of expertise as our application, technology, AI, and global system integrator partners. Speaking of which, 3 of our partners, Clevertap, Genesys, and Whisper, are present today at the event. You can learn more about them through their showcases and have a chat with the team at their expo booth during the networking hour. We can look forward to that happening later. For now, back to our little game. Here's a reminder once again on how to win the special Amazon voucher. Click on Poll on your right where the chat and Q&A are located. You will see a question and 3 possible responses. Choose the one that speaks to you most and submit. After the event, the lucky winner will receive an email from us and you will have 24 hours to claim your prize before we select a new winner. Remember to key in your responses if you haven't. But if you have, thank you for playing the rounds with us. As the clock ticks, if you do have any questions for us regarding the partner ecosystem I was talking about earlier, or about anything during the event, feel free to leave it in the chat. Okay, there's not much time left. Are you satisfied with your responses? Just a reminder to hit the submit button. Alright, the poll has now concluded. Thank you once again to all that have participated. The winner will be notified after the event, either by email or through message. So fingers crossed and wishing the best to everyone. Hope you are enjoying the event so far. Now it's time to carry on with the convo with our next segment.
When we say leave the tech to us, we mean it. The equation is simple. If you win, we win. And to help you win, we have a plan. From the moment you connect with us, we listen. Step 1, listen. We listen to your successes, the problems you're facing, and your dreams. It's only when we are not endlessly talking about how good we are, then we can think clearly how to make your business better. Step 2, assemble forces. 2 heads are better than 1. In fact, if we think more heads are needed, we'll call them in. Knowledge sharing from our other offices. Roping in our solutions engineers from the start. Or even call up our partners to see how they can add value. Step 3, action. Time is money. We do all it takes to get you on the market fast. No, not like this. We do it with tender, loving care. Just like how you treat your customers.
Amongst others, the pandemic has rewritten the rules of retail. Shopping has always been a social and conversational experience. With brands facing challenges operating physical stores, social commerce, or the ability to sell products directly on social media, has developed at a meteoric pace. For brands, the incredible ability to engage based on customer preferences means that they can create immersive and engaging experiences. Here at Vonage, we believe we are best positioned to help our customers lead the revolution in retail. We are incredibly proud to announce our latest acquisition of Jumper.ai. Jumper is the world's first end-to-end conversational commerce and shopper engagement platform designed to create omni-channel, messaging-first customer engagement. Jumper's full suite of enterprise solutions enables our customers to better personalize the customer experience, increase ad conversions, and gather insights for customer re-engagement, all happening through chat and contextual involvement of AI and human agents. With this strategic acquisition, Vonage gains significant technology and developer-focused talent, along with the expertise in conversational commerce, complementing the programmable, flexible, and intelligent capabilities of our singular Vonage communications platform and a robust portfolio of APIs. Leading brands are tapping into the power of social commerce with Jumper.ai. And my favorite example, Disney. Disney wanted to bring each of their fans closer to the booking platform. So Jumper helped them build a conversational purchase bot on Facebook Messenger. This allowed them to buy a ticket as soon as they engaged with the social post. With each interaction, Disney made a sale and massively increased the reach of their social marketing campaigns. Take another example, Kiehl's. As many of the beauty brand's customers are active Instagram users, Kiehl's Malaysia wanted to use the platform to foster a closer connection with them. However, its customer care agents found it challenging to respond to the large volume of direct messages, comments, Instagram stories they received from people. They needed a solution that could help its team manage all the inbound communication to ensure customer questions were answered and leads were converted. Jumper integrated Messenger API for Instagram and built an automated experience for all Kiehl's fans. Using the digital assistant, Kiehl's could more easily contact with people on Instagram and have a conversation with them via Instagram direct messages. The conversational flow included automatic replies, so people who sent a message to Kiehl's would immediately receive a personalized message. A handover protocol that seamlessly transferred complex conversations, such as consultations about products and solutions, to the company's customer support agents. And here's a cool one for you. The goal for the Ben & Jerry's campaign was simple: to reach users on the device they are most engaged in, their mobile phone, before directing them to locations to test a new flavor of ice cream. They started by running both organic and paid social posts to drive awareness. Customers who engaged with the posts would be sent a handful of chat messages outlining the new flavors, asking questions on their potential favorite, and subsequently offering a coupon for a free pint slice of that flavor. Finally, they would be told where the nearest Ben & Jerry's vending machine was so they could redeem the coupon for their free sample.
Hi everyone, my name is Yash Kotak and I'm the co-founder and CEO at Jumper.ai, and we're super excited to be a part of Convo 2021. Team Jumper is super excited to join the Vonage family with this acquisition, and we hope to bring amazing experiences during this consumer shift. We started Jumper in 2017 with one goal: to bring the shop to the shoppers and not the other way around. We did this for various brands such as Unilever, Samsung, BMW, Estée Lauder companies, and L'Oreal. And we hope to bring these immediate and responsive experiences to your brands very soon. Vonage, being an advanced CPaaS partner, they boast a robust portfolio of APIs on their communication platform. Now that Jumper is a part of Vonage, we're eager to help business decision makers such as yourselves to accelerate the path of conversations with your customers. You will be seeing new channels such as Instagram, Twitter, Apple Business Chat, to name a few, and leverage on these APIs not just to communicate, but also to transact with your customers on and within these same channels. All right, that's it from me today. If you have any questions regarding the Jumper AI platform, feel free to drop your questions at the Vonage booth, and our teams will be in touch with you shortly. Sunny, over to you.
As social messaging becomes more and more important to consumers across the globe as a way of connecting with their favorite brands, we will incorporate Jumper's technology to complement our portfolio of APIs with a packaged, AI-enabled conversational commerce solution. Vonage believes in helping our customers do better for theirs, and I find no one more suitable than the customer solutions team to share more about how busy we were this year in creating intuitive solutions to accelerate your ability to connect with your customers.
Hi, I'm Raj.
Hi everyone, I'm Arnaud. Welcome to Convo 2021. Both Raj and I manage customer solutions at Vonage, which means that both our teams are responsible for listening to your business communication challenges or expansion plans. And we propose intuitive solutions to help you get there.
That's right, Arnaud. I feel really close to this year's Convo theme, accelerating your ability to connect with your customers. When our customer solutions team meets with our customers, it's always about how to help you so that you can connect with your customers better and faster. I'm not sure about you, but when I work late into the night, thinking about how to help our customers, I definitely need a coffee. So I'm thinking, why not let's offer 50 cups of coffee to the audience? With your smartphones, scan the QR code that you see on the screen right now to redeem your coffee. You can choose to scan either Facebook Messenger one or WhatsApp. Remember, we are giving free coffee to only 50 lucky audiences.
You know what, Raj? I might just redeem one myself.
Sure.
Whoa, this opens up my WhatsApp instantly and the hashtag is pre-filled. I click send, press the redeem button, and it's done. Just like that, I got a free coffee.
Wasn't that very easy to confirm your redemption?
Yeah, it was.
See how we got you interested and engaged so quickly, and you made the redemption right there and then.
That was a demonstration of the social commerce solution that Sunny just announced. But right now, the 50 lucky audiences who were fast enough are still going to get their coffee. As what was covered in the earlier part of Convo, to succeed in the borderless new norm, we have to think about bringing the shop to where the customers are. It's about getting them what they want at where they want it. Customers today are using social chat apps like Facebook Messenger and Instagram almost daily. To capture their interest and turn it into a sales transaction right there and then, we cannot just paste our website URL or e-commerce shop links into social media and hope they access it. People are most likely to make the decision where their interest is the highest. Selling movie tickets? We say sell it right after they watch that amazing trailer. Having a promotion on your makeup products? We say sell it during your monthly makeup workshops by famous makeup artists. And for basketball fans out there, we say why not let NBA fans bid for limited edition Jordans while they are watching a game?
I totally agree, Arnaud. In today's situation, it's about catching the customer at the moment of inspiration. To do that, Vonage is cutting short the customer buying journey. Using your business social accounts in WhatsApp, Viber, Facebook Messenger, and many more, you can make yourself personally available to your customers and attend to them anytime, anywhere on social platforms that your customers, are already on.
And all of this can be set up for your business in days, not weeks. Because you're not sending your customers out onto another website or eShop, you're essentially in control of your customers' buying journey, giving them less opportunities to ponder while keeping their interest in your product and services at the highest. With our new social commerce solution, unread communications, low conversion rates, and broken customer relationships don't have to be the norm.
That's right. Whether it's B2B or B2C, the way businesses have to manage customer experience has now changed. Today, we have some exciting updates on our Vonage solutions that we want to share with you.
Our customers have been using our communications API integrated with WhatsApp for quite some time now, and their customers are also getting used to the convenience of it. But we don't want to stop there. We were thinking, why not make the interactions faster by simply pressing a button as compared to typing their response?
We have updated our WhatsApp solution with interactive messages. Instead of having your customers type out their lunch order, or check for available reservation times at your restaurant. Now you can use list messages or reply buttons to facilitate the conversation.
There are no templates or pre-approvals required. Interactive messages are populated dynamically in real time, and this provides a simpler and more consistent format for your interaction.
In the past 2 years, we have seen tremendous growth in the use of video across many industries and for a wide range of business and consumer use cases. Today, companies find themselves needing to build and implement far more complex video applications, and to do it faster than ever before. The new Vonage Video Express is here to make the job easy for you.
There are increasingly more multi-party use cases. Previously, for a webinar presentation, we had about 5-6 presenters in the same location addressing a large audience. Now, with all the travel restrictions and work from home, each presenter is in a different location. More often than not, some video solutions that you've tried may have made the integration faster, but the user experience is compromised with the latency and other factors. Large group calls are more complicated and challenging to deliver as they require higher computing power, bandwidth, and network resources.
Vonage Video Express handles all the complexity and ensures that the quality, performance, and usability for the large number of video participants are maintained. For those of you who prefer full control of video and UX to build your video application, our video API now supports up to 5,000 participants for interactive broadcasts. The explosion of remote workforce and video conferences has also brought online meeting fatigue, probably because virtual meetings are still not naturally interactive like physical meetings. To help conversations flow more naturally like a physical face-to-face meeting, what if we have 3D audio in video conferencing? It would feel and sound as if people had gathered in a physical space together, but with all the benefits of meeting virtually.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the demonstration of facial audio integration with Vonage Video API. Now you can enjoy your meeting in 3-dimensional audio.
Your meetings can feel and sound like
People have joy in a physical room.
We all benefits of meeting virtually.
Oh, and if you happen to do a call with a messy or sensitive background, we have also added background blur for your webcam.
Get in touch with us if you are keen to find out more.
The Vonage Video API platform provides global reach, but there are times when privacy policy requires media traffic be restricted or geofenced to a specific region or country. To support the finer level of control required for more regions, or advanced security feature, regional media zones are now available in Japan and Korea, in addition to Australia, the US, EU, Germany, and Canada. We are already working with many popular conversation AI engines in the market, and we also have expanded our use cases with Vonage AI enablement. For instance, for inbound contact centers, customers can get quick answers and resolutions to FAQs without ever having to speak with an agent. You can also improve the performance of your agents by giving them live and post-call analytics generated by AI. There is no need to rip and replace your contact center infrastructure, as we have flexible deployment models that allow you to augment it without starting from scratch.
We are also boosting the functions of our video API with artificial intelligence. For instance, if you are broadcasting a beauty product launch, you can replace your background and customize beauty filters for your audience to try out the effects of your new product. During the live stream, the audience can also purchase the lipstick or foundation directly by clicking the buttons. If you are conducting workshops or webinars where participants are allowed to turn on their cameras, you don't want them to be spoiling the experience for other participants if they decide to be naughty. With our AI enablement, our video API can moderate such instances by turning off the camera instantly if they expose themselves or give a rude hand gesture.
I think it's a really helpful feature, Raj.
Exactly. Also, how often are you frustrated by a lot of background noise during video conferences or the baby crying in the background? Now you can cancel out the noise making use of AI with our video API.
So we're going to try how noise cancelling works with Maxine SDK from NVIDIA. So I'm going to use a potato chips bag and try to make some noise. And yeah, I hope you can hear something. Maybe you don't hear anything. But yeah, let's see how Maxine works. Cool. Thanks, Raj. Now, I'm still eating my chips. No, I'm not eating. I'm just squashing it. Let's see if Raj can hear anything on my side. I might be eating something during my conference.
On top of what Raj has just shared, we have also used AI to enable live video captionings to our video API. You can check out the demos of these capabilities at the Vonage booth.
Vonage Voice API now provides you with the option to seamlessly embed secure payment processing into the call flow. This is a secure voice payment solution that seamlessly works with customers' current business processes. It's PCI compliant and available globally.
This feature of the Voice API delivers the flexibility of paying by phone as an augmentation to current IVR voice bot or contact center platforms with just a few lines of code.
This will demonstrate Vonage secure payments over the phone. To pay the amount of $9.99, please follow the instructions. Please enter your 16-digit credit card number. Please enter your 4-digit credit card expiration date. Please enter your 3-digit security code. Your payment has been accepted and processed. Thank you.
There are various scenarios when you may want to charge the users during the phone call. For example, automated order processing, subscription renewal, and debt collection. To do that securely with credit cards, the application deals with sensitive card data and must follow PCI compliance rules.
Speaking of compliance, Arno, the HIPAA compliance is a mandatory requirement for healthcare in the US. Building a robust patient journey today includes video consultations, group discussions, and more. To help our healthcare clients further their secure communications with their end users, now both Vonage SMS and video APIs allow these communications to be seamlessly embedded within existing healthcare applications.
To elevate customer experience on your platform, you have to keep Frosters a way to protect your users. Our easy-to-use Verify API not only removes the complexity of 2FA at a global scale, it can also be tested in a matter of minutes and scaled globally in a matter of hours.
Besides SMS and voice, we are now working on adding WhatsApp as additional channel for authentication with auto failover to SMS and voice if and when needed.
Those are just a few updates that we've picked out to share with you today. In fact, for the past year, we've kept ourselves busy by going back to the drawing board to review the solutions we have and making sure they stay relevant for your usage. Both Raj and myself will be in the networking sessions later. Feel free to chat with us if you have any buzzing ideas.
Thank you, Raj and Arno, for the insightful sharing. At the start of today's event, I spoke about the convergence of multiple industries, how e-commerce and fintech, live streaming and instant shopping, and the offline and online worlds are converging through the rise of tech and innovation, creating a virtual third space for consumers today. Our Chief Marketing Officer, Joy Corso, spoke about the difference between advanced CPaaS partners like us versus standalone third-party solutions. She also shared the key findings of the Forrester report on the use and effectiveness of CPaaS and how leveraging these solutions can drastically improve communication capabilities, drive engagement, and increase revenue. Safi also shared with us that the one thing that distinguishes great businesses are not culture and strategy, but their ability to run experiments at pace and scale, quickly and efficiently. John, our Vice President for Asia Pacific, shared various customer stories which amplified the opportunities that come along with the era of the borderless new norm. These companies have great foresight and are proof of how CPaaS is essential to your customer experience strategy. We also heard from Arno and Raj the exciting new updates that we've made to our suite of solutions. and the introduction of some new ones. We don't just create APIs and SDKs in isolation. We observe the trends, listen to your challenges, and create solutions that are intuitive and add real value to your CX strategy. It's just not our APIs alone that make us stand out. Our greatest value to our customers are our people and our partners. Solution architects, engineers, our success managers, tech support, all these enablers have the technical expertise, industry knowledge, and problem-solving creativity. They are in the region, locally, to help you navigate complexity to ensure speedy time to market. This is not the end of the event, but thank you so much for spending your afternoon listening to us. We will be at the expo along with our partners waiting to connect with you. See you there.